Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we have ourselves another very cool Lulu's Customs and Classics figure, and as you can see, not only do we have a new figure from them, we've got a Scorpius Rex. And as you can also see, this is a different posed version of any of the previous Scorpius Rex that he's released, which he has released quite a few, and I have reviewed quite a few, including a baby here on the channel. But we now have this version, which roughly is about the same size as the previous ones, so I don't think we really need to do comparisons or anything later on in the review, just to get that out of the way right away, because we have already reviewed the Scorpius a few different times in different poses. But we do want to take a look at this one as far as this pose goes, and this is another of the many that he's going to have available to purchase, and he's actually going to have a super articulated version coming very soon, which I will also review. But again, looks absolutely epic in this pose, so let's jump to a closer look and check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Scorpius, we've got ourselves an incredibly cool kind of roaring pose for this one, and you can see that he's got the tongue extended and everything. It honestly looks like it's straight out of Camp Cretaceous when it comes to the very cool, very dynamic pose that he has for the Scorpius. You can see on the inside of the mouth we've got a nice kind of purplish tone in there. Again, you can see how the tongue is sticking up, and you can also see how he's mixed the purples with what looks to be like some sort of a dark tone, like a black potentially in there, just to add a little variation of color. There's also a nice gloss coat in there, helping it all to shine quite realistically, giving it that saliva-like look. You can see all of the teeth on the upper jaw are sculpted individually. The lower jaw, some of the teeth look like maybe they're sculpted together, but they're pretty small teeth, so that's kind of to be expected. They are as well painted with a nice off-white, helping to give them a bit of realism, and you can see the skin stretching there with the mouth again wide open. We also have the eye painted with a red, a yellow, and black in there, which looks really fun. Again, really nice, and also a nice gloss coat on the eye as well to give it that eye shine. The variation of color here in the face looks good, as we've got variations of blacks, browns, and then lighter tones that kind of follow along the jawline, and it's the same light tone you see here for the lower jaw. You can also see that it looks like maybe the lighter tone's been painted over the black, and he's kind of dry brushed it over in a way where we still see some of the black for the undersides of that area. As you move up here, you can see more of the brownish tones on the top of the head of the Scorpius, as well as the quills as we move back. Again, that is definitely a trademark of the Scorpius Rex. Moving down into the neck, you can definitely see how the neck is tensing again with the roaring currently occurring. And then as you move down, you can see, actually, let's just reposition completely. You can see how awkwardly strange looking the Scorpius is from the underside. It's one of the weirdest looking hybrids, I think, that we've seen in the Jurassic franchise as a whole, and you can really see how strange looking and how big and bulky the chest is for the dinosaur from the underside right there. As you move along the back, you start to pick up those like kind of armored scoots moving along the spinal column, and you can see he's painted it, some of them with a brown, some of them feature some grayish tones, some have black, so there's some good bit of variation of color to those areas, but as you let the light hit it, you can really pick up on the nice detail within those areas. As you move down, you can see both arms are kind of extended back here, again showing off that really cool dynamic pose with the Scorpius really letting out an impressive roar of some kind. And as you move down, you can see like some osteoderms poking up here and there, as well as some very nice skin texture the entire way through. As you move down into the hands, you can see we transition back to a brown in the fingers, and we have the nails sculpted very nice. They look like, again, a bit genuinely sharp, and you can see they are painted with a nice glossy black. We do have the lighter tone for the undersides of the hands moving up there along the back of the arms. And then as you move down a little bit further, you can see the thigh moving down. You can see more variations of browns popping up here and there, as well as the very impressive scale, detail, and skin texture moving down there into the leg. As you lead down a little bit further, you see more of that moving into the knee. You can see the knee itself, the calf muscle. Again, more variations of browns as you move down through the course of the leg, and then you lead down into the foot sculpt. You've got the really long leg with the scoots moving down the front of the foot, down into the toes. More variations of blacks and browns, and again, the nails looking really nice and very genuinely sharp, again with that black paint and then the gloss coat. And then you move up here into the tail, and as you lead out, you of course continue to have that armored look to the back of the tail, and then you lead here out into the tail with all of these quills and everything out here well, we're losing focus on the back of the tail here of the Scorpius. You're going to see almost the same thing from the other side, but you can see the arm is a little bit different as far as the positioning goes, but not too far off. I mean, for the most part, it looks kind of similar. The leg is definitely a little bit further forward, though, on this side. You can see the Scorpius has kind of taken a step forward to let out this vocalization. You can also see, again, the foot sculpt and everything looks great the entire way through. Absolutely phenomenal paintwork as per usual on this figure. The head sculpt also looks great, again, with the paintwork and everything, and of course the sculpt. And you lead out here toward the tail, you can see a nice curve to the tail as you lead out the rest of the way. But that is definitely a super cool Scorpius Rex, yet again from Lulu's Customs and Classics. So you may notice that I did bring in a little stand here to hold our Scorpius Rex up, and although it can stand for me, it's still a little bit kind of wobbly, so rather than it falling on its face, I decided to put the stand there to help hold it up so I can, of course, finish the video. But you can see, again, it looks absolutely incredible. Even with the stand, it still looks incredible. But like I said earlier, we have already reviewed the Scorpius a few times from him in the past, so we don't need to measure it. We don't need to do comparisons or anything like that as far as this one goes. Just another super cool variation to the Scorpius here in his lineup. And yet again, I think he's done just a phenomenal job, as he always does, and thanks to him, I now have so many Scorpius Rex in my collection. It is so cool because I love this dinosaur. I absolutely love this hybrid. I think it's one of the coolest looking, if not the coolest looking hybrid that has ever been included in anything Jurassic related. They just did such a great job on this one, on the overall design as well as the creepiness of it. It is definitely one of the creepier dinosaurs that has ever appeared in the Jurassic franchise. And now again, thanks to Lulu's Customs and Classics, I now have numerous different poses and everything for the Scorpius in my collection, as well as numerous different paint variants and a baby. So cool, especially again considering this is a dinosaur that is so often overlooked for some reason. Obviously not a real species of dinosaur, but even when it comes to like hybrids, you just see so many other people making, and even Mattel and stuff like that, usually making like the Indoraptor or the Indominus, stuff like that, although they have recently unveiled a new Scorpius, which looks pretty cool, but not nearly as screen accurate as this version that we have here. But again, he's done a very good job on the pose of this one, just like he has in the past. I love the very dynamic pose. Definitely one of the nicest as far as a display goes. Absolutely the type that I could see looking incredibly cool on someone's like desk or something. And very much so a conversation starter, that's for sure. His paintwork as well is fantastic. The detailing is fantastic. He's just created, again, one of the absolute coolest Scorpius Rex figures that I will ever see. So if you are interested in this, just like with everything, as far as Lulu's Customs and Classics products go, I will include a link in the description to his Instagram account as well as his eBay store. Just keep checking his store as he puts models up. You'll see them from time to time. And of course, you can contact him on Instagram and inquire further there if you want to kind of, get a jump start on it and find out maybe when something might be getting listed. You can contact him there and let him know you're interested in purchasing. So of course, do all of that and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.